Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of psychology to uncover the 10 clear signs that you both like each other. Stay tuned to find out if your crush feels the same way. Now, let's be honest, navigating the early stages of attraction can feel like you're trying to read a map in the dark, can't it? You're wondering, do they like me? Am I just imagining things? It's a place where a lot of folks get stuck, overthinking every little interaction. But what if I told you there are some pretty clear indicators, some real-world signs that can cut through all that confusion? That's what we're here to talk about. No more guessing games, just straightforward facts. Understanding these signals isn't just about satisfying your curiosity. It's about empowering yourself. It's about getting a better handle on the dynamics playing out between you and this other person. When you can recognize these signs, you can make more informed decisions, you can manage your own expectations, and frankly, you can save yourself a whole lot of unnecessary heartache and second guessing. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding human behavior. Specifically the behavior that screams, "Hey, I'm interested in you and it looks like you're interested in me too." We're going to equip you with the knowledge to see things as they are, not just as you hope them to be. So I want you to listen up, because what we're about to go through are 10 distinct, research-backed, common-sense signs that the feeling is mutual. This isn't some hocus pocus. This is based on how people genuinely act when they're developing a connection. Pay close attention, maybe even jot down a few notes if you're serious about figuring this out. Because when you understand these cues, you're no longer a passive bystander in your own life. You become an active, aware participant who can recognize the signals for what they truly are. Let's get to it. Alright, let's start with one of the most powerful yet often misinterpreted signals: frequent eye contact. Now, I'm not just talking about a polite glance when someone's speaking, we all do that. I'm talking about something more. When you find that you and this other person are consistently locking eyes, holding that gaze for a moment longer than necessary, that's a whole different ballgame. It's a primal form of connection, folks. Before we even utter a word, our eyes are doing the talking, signaling interest, acknowledgement, and sometimes a whole lot more. This isn't just accidental, it's often a subconscious pull towards someone you're attracted to, and if they're doing it back, repeatedly, that's your first big clue. So, what does frequent really mean in this context? It means it's not a one-off. It's happening across different interactions and different settings. You might look up and find them already looking at you. Or perhaps you both look at each other simultaneously, share a smile, and then maybe one of you looks away, only to find your eyes meeting again moments later. This catch and release of eye contact, especially when it's mutual and repeated, is a strong indicator. It's like an unspoken conversation happening between the two of you, a silent acknowledgement that something is there. Pay attention to the quality of the gaze too. Is it soft, engaging, perhaps a little intense? These nuances matter. Think about the feeling that accompanies this mutual gaze. There's often a little spark, isn't there? A jolt of recognition, maybe even a slight quickening of the pulse. That's the power of genuine eye contact when attraction is present. It's an intimate act, even from across a room. It says, "I see you, and I'm interested in what I see." And when that feeling is reflected back at you, when you sense they're feeling that same connection through your shared gaze, it's hard to ignore. It's a fundamental building block of rapport, and very often a clear signpost on the road to mutual crushing. Now you gotta be smart about this. Context is everything. If you're in a business meeting and someone is looking at you while you're presenting, that's professional attention. But if you're in a social setting and these lingering, repeated eye contacts are happening, coupled with other signals we'll discuss, then you're onto something. Don't just jump to conclusions based on one instance. Look for the pattern. Is it consistent? Does it feel different from how this person interacts with others? You need to be a good observer of human behavior, starting with how they use their eyes when they're around you. So, to wrap up this first point, frequent, sustained, and mutual eye contact is a big deal. It's one of the most direct, albeit nonverbal ways human beings signal interest. If you're noticing this pattern, where both of you are seeking out and holding each other's gaze more often and for longer than is typical for casual interaction, then you've got your first piece of solid evidence. Don't dismiss it. Acknowledge it, file it away, and let's move on to the next sign, because these things often build on each other. Next up, we're talking about something called mirroring. Now, this is a fascinating psychological phenomenon, and it's often completely subconscious. Mirroring is when you start to subtly mimic the body language, gestures, posture, or even speech patterns of the person you're interacting with. And when you both are doing it, it's a huge sign of rapport, and you guessed it, mutual attraction. It's like your bodies are saying, hey, we're in sync, we get each other. It's a natural human tendency when we feel a connection or want to build one. Think about it. Have you ever noticed yourself leaning forward when they lean forward? Or perhaps you both reach for your drinks at the same time, or one of you uses a particular hand gesture, and a little later the other person uses a similar one. It could be as subtle as matching their rate of speech, their tone, or even their breathing rhythm if you're really in sync. This isn't about conscious imitation, that would be creepy. This is a subtle, almost imperceptible dance that happens when two people are connecting on a deeper level. It's the brain's way of fostering a bond. Why does this happen when we like someone? Well, at its core, mirroring is about establishing common ground and increasing feelings of similarity. When someone subtly reflects our behavior, we tend to like them more and feel more comfortable around them. It creates a sense of harmony and understanding, so if you're subconsciously mirroring someone you're attracted to, you're trying to build that bridge. And if they are mirroring you back, it indicates they are also invested in that connection, feeling that same pull to align with you. It's a powerful, unspoken validation of mutual interest. The key here is that it's mutual. If you're the only one doing all the mirroring, you might just be really keen or perhaps a bit too eager. But when you observe that they are also adopting some of your mannerisms, your posture, or your expressions, that's when it becomes truly significant. It's a two-way street. Maybe you cross your legs and a moment later they cross theirs. Or they tell a story with animated hands, and you find yourself doing the same when you respond. These are the little echoes that signal a deeper resonance between two people. So I want you to start paying attention to these subtle reflections. It's a non-verbal cue that speaks volumes about the connection you're forming. Are you both falling into similar postures during conversations? Are there shared gestures or phrases popping up? This isn't about actively looking to copy someone, it's about noticing if this synchronicity is happening naturally and from both sides. If it is, you've got another strong piece of evidence that you're both on the same wavelength, and that crush might just be a shared experience. It's your bodies communicating a mutual yes. Alright, let's talk about personal space and what it means when you both start to shrink it. Sign number 3 is leaning in during conversations. This might seem obvious, but the psychology behind it is quite profound. We all have an invisible bubble around us, our personal space, and we're generally quite protective of it. When someone enters that space without invitation, it can feel intrusive, but when there's mutual attraction, the rules change. Leaning in becomes a signal of interest, engagement, and a desire for greater closeness. Think about when you're truly engrossed in a conversation with someone you find fascinating or attractive. What happens to your posture? You naturally tend to lean in, don't you? You want to hear every word, you want to show you're focused, and on a subconscious level, you want to be physically nearer to them. It's a gesture that says, I'm here with you, fully present, and I value this interaction. It's an active, physical demonstration of your attention and interest that goes beyond just listening politely from a distance. Now, this isn't just a slight head tilt to hear better in a noisy room, though that can be part of it. We're talking about a more deliberate, sustained leaning of the torso towards the other person. It's about reducing the physical distance between your faces, your bodies. When this happens, you're creating a more intimate conversational zone. If you're sitting across a table, you might both be leaning your elbows on the table, angling your bodies towards each other. If you're standing, you might find yourselves subtly shifting closer as you talk. The real magic happens when this leaning in is mutual. If you lean in, and they lean in too, you've just created a shared space, a little bubble of exclusivity. It's like you're both saying, the most important thing in this moment is this connection between us. It signals a mutual desire to intensify the interaction, to shut out the rest of the world for a bit, and focus solely on each other. This reciprocity is crucial. It shows that the desire for closeness isn't one-sided, it's a shared impulse. So, observe this dynamic. When you're talking to this person, are you both unconsciously trying to close the physical gap? Does it feel like you're both being drawn towards each other, magnet-like, during your interactions? This isn't just about being a good listener. It's a physical manifestation of growing intimacy and attraction. If you find yourselves consistently creating this shared, closer space, it's a very strong indicator that the interest is mutual and you're both comfortable moving into a more connected personal territory. It's a clear signal that you both want to be nearer. Chapter 4. Just kidding, not really. Playful teasing. Let's move on to sign number 4, playful teasing. Now I'm not talking about mean-spirited jabs or put-downs. That's just bullying, and there's no place for that in any healthy interaction, let alone a budding romance. What I'm referring to is light-hearted, good-natured teasing, the kind that makes you both smile or laugh, the kind that has an undercurrent of affection. When this type of teasing is happening back and forth between two people, it can be a significant indicator of mutual interest and comfort. Why is playful teasing a sign of attraction? Well, for one, it's a relatively low-risk way to show you're paying attention to someone. To tease someone playfully, you have to have noticed something specific about them, a little quirk, a habit, a funny story they told. It shows you're observant. Secondly, it's a way to build rapport and create a unique dynamic. It can lead to inside jokes, shared laughter, and a sense of us against the world, even in a small way. It's a method of testing the waters, of showing interest without being overly direct or vulnerable. The key here is that the teasing must be playful and, importantly, reciprocal and well received. If you gently tease them about, say, their obsession with a particular TV show, and they laugh and tease you back about something, that's a great sign. It shows that you're both comfortable enough with each other to engage in this kind of banter. It means you've established a level of trust where you know the teasing is coming from a place of fondness, not malice. If the teasing is one-sided, or if one person consistently gets offended or uncomfortable, then that's not what we're talking about here. Think about the kinds of things that fall under playful teasing. It could be a gentle ribbing about a minor mishap, a silly nickname that sticks, or even a bit of a challenge thrown down in a fun way. It's the kind of interaction that often involves smiles, laughter, and maybe even a light, playful shove or touch. This kind of banter creates an energy, a spark between two people. It's a dance of wit and affection, a way to connect on a more personal and informal level than polite, formal conversation allows. So if you find yourself in a dynamic where there's a consistent exchange of this light-hearted mutual teasing, pay attention. It often signifies a growing comfort, familiarity, and yes, attraction. It's a way of saying, I see you, I get your quirks, I enjoy your company, and I like you enough to engage in this playful way. It helps to break down barriers and build a more intimate connection. If you're both smiling and laughing through it, chances are you're both crushing, just a little bit. It's a sign that you're comfortable enough to be a bit cheeky with each other. Chapter 5. The Little Things Matter. Remembering small details. Alright, sign number 5 is a big one, and it often flies under the radar, but it's incredibly telling. Remembering small details about each other. I'm talking about those little tidbits of information that you might casually mention in a conversation, things that most people would probably forget. When someone you're interested in, and who is interested in you, remembers these things, it speaks volumes. It shows they're not just hearing you, they are actively listening and retaining information because you and what you say matter to them. What kind of details are we talking about? It could be anything, really. Maybe you once mentioned your favorite kind of coffee and weeks later they offer to get you exactly that. Or you told a brief story about your childhood pet and they bring it up again in a relevant context. Perhaps you complained about a minor annoyance, like a specific type of music you dislike, and they remember not to play it when you're around. It could be your birthday, without Facebook reminding them, a small preference you have, or a detail about your family or hobbies. These aren't earth-shattering revelations, but they are significant. When someone remembers these small, seemingly insignificant details, it sends a very powerful message. I am paying attention to you. You are important enough for me to store this information. I care about what you share. This isn't just about having a good memory in general. Most people have selective memory. We remember what we deem important or what resonates with us. If this person is remembering the minutiae of your life and your conversations, it's a strong indicator that you are important to them. Now, the crucial part for our discussion is when this is a two-way street. If you find yourself remembering little things about them, their quirky habits, their favorite band, a story they told about their weekend, and they are doing the same for you, that's a powerful sign of mutual investment. It means you're both actively building a mental profile of each other, not in a creepy way, but in a way that shows genuine interest and a desire to understand each other on a deeper level. You're both collecting data points that matter. So take a step back and think about your interactions. Are you noticing that they bring up things you barely remember saying? And are you in turn finding that you recall specific little details about them? If this mutual remembrance is happening, it's a clear sign that you're both highly attuned to one another. It's a quiet but profound way of showing care and attentiveness. It suggests that the connection is moving beyond the superficial, and that you're both investing mental and emotional energy into getting to know the real person. This is a green light, folks. Chapter 6. The Accidental Touch, Finding Excuses to Make Contact. Let's get into sign number 6, which is all about physical connection, albeit often subtle, finding excuses to touch. Now, touch is an incredibly powerful form of communication. It can convey comfort, reassurance, affection, and yes, attraction, often more effectively than words. When two people are mutually interested in each other, there's often an increase in these small, seemingly incidental moments of physical contact. It's a way of testing the waters and bridging the physical gap between you. What do I mean by excuses to touch? I'm not talking about anything inappropriate or unwelcome, let me be very clear about that. I'm referring to those brief, light touches that might seem accidental but often have an undercurrent of intention when attraction is present. For example, their hand might briefly brush yours when you're both reaching for the same object. Or they might lightly touch your arm or shoulder when emphasizing a point in conversation. Or when you've said something funny. Maybe it's a gentle pat on the back, or accidentally bumping knees under a table. Why do people do this when they like someone? On a subconscious level, there's often a drive for physical closeness with someone we're attracted to. These small touches can be a way to gauge the other person's receptiveness to physical contact. They can create a little spark, a moment of heightened awareness between two people. It's a non-verbal way of saying, I feel comfortable with you, and I'm drawn to you. These aren't grand gestures. They are usually fleeting, but they can be very meaningful in the context of developing attraction. The critical factor here, as with so many of these signs, is mutuality and comfort. Are these touches reciprocated, or at least, do they seem welcome? If you lightly touch their arm and they subtly lean into it or smile, that's a positive sign. If they also initiate similar small touches with you, that's even stronger. However, if one person is doing all the touching and the other person seems to flinch, pull away, or look uncomfortable, then that's not a sign of mutual crushing. That's a sign that boundaries are being crossed, and that's a serious problem. So, pay attention to these micro-interactions. Are there moments where your hands linger a bit longer during a handshake or when passing something? Do you find yourselves accidentally brushing against each other more often than you would with other friends or colleagues? If these small, respectful, and seemingly welcome touches are happening from both sides, it's a strong indicator that the physical chemistry is building and that you're both exploring the possibility of a closer connection. It's a subtle dance of proximity and contact, and it can tell you a lot about the mutual interest simmering beneath the surface. Moving on to sign number 7, and this one is about the quality of your communication, engaging in deep conversations. Now, everybody makes small talk about the weather, about current events, about what you did over the weekend. That's normal, everyday interaction. But when you find that your conversations with this particular person consistently move beyond the superficial and into more meaningful territory, that's a significant development. Deep conversations involve sharing personal thoughts, feelings, values, beliefs, dreams, fears, and past experiences. Why is this a sign of mutual interest and burgeoning connection? Because opening up and being vulnerable requires trust. We don't typically share our inner worlds with just anyone. We reserve that level of intimacy for people we feel a connection with, people we sense we can confide in. When you're willing to share these deeper parts of yourself, and the other person is willing to do the same, you're building a bridge of emotional intimacy. It shows a mutual desire to know each other on a more profound and authentic level. Think about the topics you discuss. Are you talking about your aspirations for the future, your philosophies on life, significant memories or challenges you've faced? Are you sharing your honest opinions, even if they might be a bit controversial, because you feel safe enough to do so? These kinds of conversations create a strong bond because they involve a level of self-disclosure that isn't casual. It's an investment of emotional energy and a demonstration of trust. Crucially, this has to be a two-way street. It's not a deep conversation if one person is doing all the talking and the other is just passively listening, or worse, seems disengaged. True deep conversation involves both individuals actively participating, asking thoughtful questions, listening intently to the answers, offering their own perspectives, and sharing their own vulnerabilities. There's a give and take, a mutual exploration of each other's minds and hearts. It feels like you're both peeling back layers and discovering who the other person truly is. So if you find yourselves regularly losing track of time while engrossed in these kinds of meaningful discussions, if you feel like you can talk to this person about almost anything and they share that same openness with you, that's a very powerful sign. It indicates that the connection is moving beyond simple attraction into something more substantial. You're not just crushing on a surface-level image, you're connecting with the person underneath, and they're doing the same with you. This mutual willingness to be vulnerable and explore deeper topics is a cornerstone of a strong, evolving relationship. Alright, let's talk about a very practical and telling sign prioritizing time together. Sign number 8 is all about action. You see, talk is cheap, as they say. But time is one of our most valuable and finite resources. How we choose to allocate our time says a lot about our priorities. When two people are genuinely interested in each other, they will actively make an effort to spend time in each other's company, even when their lives are busy and demanding. Think about your own schedule, and theirs. Are you both finding, or more importantly, opportunities to connect? This isn't just about happening to be in the same place at the same time. It's about one or both of you suggesting a coffee, a lunch, a walk, or any activity that allows you to interact. It's about responding positively and enthusiastically when such an opportunity is presented. It shows a conscious decision to invest your precious time in nurturing this budding connection. This goes beyond mere convenience. If it's always easy and requires no effort to see each other, that doesn't tell you as much. But if one or both of you are willing to rearrange schedules, perhaps stay a little later after work or an event, or go out of your way to make a meeting happen, that's a much stronger indicator. It demonstrates that the value placed on spending time together outweighs the inconvenience or the sacrifice of other potential activities. It shows commitment to seeing where this connection might lead. The key here is, once again, mutuality. Is the effort to spend time together coming from both sides? If you're always the one initiating plans and they're just passively agreeing or frequently canceling, that's not a good sign. But if they are also suggesting hangouts, if they're checking your availability, if they seem genuinely disappointed when plans have to change, and if you're doing the same, then you're looking at a mutual investment of time. It's a clear signal that you both enjoy each other's company enough to make it a priority. So, observe the patterns of how you spend your time, and how they spend theirs, particularly in relation to each other. Are you both consistently choosing to carve out moments for interaction, even amidst the chaos of daily life? If the answer is yes, if you're both actively working to create opportunities to be together, then that's a very concrete sign that the interest is mutual and growing. You're both voting with your calendars, and that speaks louder than a lot of other more ambiguous signals. Time is a currency, and you're both choosing to spend it on each other. Let's delve into sign number 9, complimenting each other. Now, compliments can sometimes be throwaway lines, polite social niceties, but when we're talking about mutual attraction, the compliments often take on a different quality. They tend to be more specific, more genuine, and more frequent. A sincere compliment is a direct way of expressing admiration and positive regard, and when these are flowing both ways, it's a pretty clear indication of mutual interest. What kind of compliments are we looking for here? It's not just a generic nice outfit or good job on that presentation, although those can be pleasant. In the context of a developing crush, compliments often go deeper. They might be about someone's personality, their sense of humor, their kindness, their intelligence. They could be about a specific skill or talent you've observed. Or they might be more direct compliments about their appearance, delivered in a way that feels genuine and respectful rather than superficial or creepy. Why do we compliment people we're attracted to? Well, for starters, it's a way to make them feel good. When you like someone, you generally want them to feel positive, especially in your presence. Secondly, it's a way to overtly signal your admiration and interest. It's less ambiguous than some of the other non-verbal cues. It's putting your positive assessment out there. And when you receive a genuine compliment from someone you're interested in, it can be incredibly validating and can certainly boost your own attraction to them. The real power of compliments as a sign of mutual crushing comes when they are reciprocal and sincere. If you find yourself genuinely admiring things about them and expressing that, and they, in turn, are offering you specific and heartfelt compliments, you're creating a positive feedback loop. Both of you feel seen, appreciated, and attractive in the other's eyes. This mutual affirmation can significantly strengthen the bond and escalate the feelings of attraction. It's like you're both verbally acknowledging the good things you see in each other, so pay attention to the words being exchanged. Are genuine compliments a regular feature of your interactions? Do they feel authentic and specific rather than generic or forced? And most importantly, is this a two-way street? If you're both making each other feel good by pointing out qualities you admire, it's a strong sign that the positive feelings are mutual. It's verbal sunshine. And when you're both basking in it, it suggests you're both enjoying the warmth of a shared attraction. Don't underestimate the power of sincere mutual praise. Finally, we've arrived at sign number 10, and it's all about those telltale physiological and emotional responses, showing nervousness or excitement around each other. When you have a crush on someone, and especially when you sense they might like you back, it's common to feel a certain buzz, a mixture of nerves and exhilaration. These feelings often manifest in noticeable ways, and if you're both exhibiting them, it's a classic sign of mutual romantic interest. Why do we get nervous or excited around someone we're crushing on? It's a potent cocktail of brain chemistry, folks. There's anticipation, the thrill of what might happen. There's a heightened self-awareness, and a desire to make a good impression, which can lead to a bit of anxiety. Your body might be releasing adrenaline and dopamine, leading to that butterflies in the stomach feeling, a faster heartbeat, or even slightly sweaty palms. These are often involuntary responses to a person who has captured your significant interest. What are some of the outward signs of this nervousness or excitement? You might notice yourself, or them, fidgeting a bit more than usual, playing with hair, tapping fingers, shifting weight. There might be more blushing or flushing than normal. Sometimes words might get a little jumbled, or there might be an uncharacteristic awkwardness. On the excitement side, there could be more giggling or laughing than usual, an extra sparkle in the eyes, or a generally more animated and energetic demeanor when you're together. The key here is observing these signs in a view. If you feel that flutter of nerves or a surge of excitement when they're around, try to subtly observe if they seem to be experiencing something similar. Do they seem a little more on or perhaps a little more endearingly clumsy or flustered in your presence than they are with others? If you're both showing these subtle or not so subtle signs of heightened emotional and physiological arousal, it's a very strong indicator that there's some serious chemistry brewing. So don't dismiss those jitters or that extra pep in your step as just you being silly. And don't overlook it if you see similar signs in them. This shared charge in the air, this palpable sense of anticipation and slight tension, is a classic hallmark of mutual attraction. It means that your presence has a distinct effect on each other, an effect that goes beyond casual friendship. It's your bodies and emotions signaling that something significant is happening and that something is very likely a mutual crush. It's the electricity of potential. So, there you have it. 10 pretty clear signs that you and your crush might just be crushing on each other. Recognizing these patterns isn't about playing detective in a way that makes you anxious. It's about becoming more attuned to the very real, very human signals that people send out when they're interested. From the lingering eye contact and mirrored body language to the deep conversations and mutual nervousness, these cues, especially when you see several of them consistently, paint a pretty compelling picture of shared attraction. This knowledge can give you the confidence to understand what's happening. I want you to take this information and think about your own interactions. Have you noticed these signs? Remember, context is key, and it's usually a combination of these signals, not just one in isolation, that points to something real. Understanding these dynamics can help you navigate those tricky early stages with a bit more clarity and a lot less guesswork. It empowers you to make choices that are right for you, whether that means subtly reciprocating the interest or simply enjoying the connection for what it is right now. It's about being aware and making conscious decisions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating psychology facts about love and relationships. See you next time. We hope this has been helpful, and remember, getting real about what you're seeing and feeling is the first step to building genuine connections. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next video where we'll continue to explore how to make your relationships work better.